All right, it's part 3, and it's March 7th of 2013. I'm always looking at the watch anyway when I do that. It's just something to do. I was going to tell you about my 30-year plan, which started 30 years ago, what I was going to do, and how it was sabotaged by the city of Los Angeles, and how it actually has sabotaged and destroyed the chance for humanity to survive, the good that is truly in humanity to survive. Because there's so many uneducated people on the planet, and they're so stupid, even the people in power, that they just, like I said, I've said this before in my videos too, all their priorities are in the wrong place. And they've made a very serious mistake by allowing the damages that happened to me to happen, and I'll tell you why now. I told you that I had bought, not once, but twice, 40 acres in Colorado. I had planned to build there a health resort, and a quarter racehorsing ranch, and a museum that would end and put to shame every museum on the planet. But it was also going to be a survival area in case something were to ever hit the planet, like a huge asteroid or a meteor or, in this case, a comet. Now, I can't tell you all the details because they're very complicated about how I was going to do it. But I owned the property. It was in my name and a church that I developed, my church's name. And what was going to happen there was I was going to build special buildings, and these buildings are extremely powerful. They're able to withstand even a wave traveling at 1,000 miles per hour would not wash away this building, or buildings, plural. And every house that was built there was going to be built that way. Not only that, it's kind of like the children's story of the big bad wolf, you know. The first pig built their house out of straw, the next one built it out of wood, the next one built it out of a brick, and the wolf, of course, couldn't blow the brick house down. But an earthquake will shake the heck out of a brick house and tear it apart. In my case, it was going to be something different. I'm not going to mention what it was going to be because there's no use in doing it. So, what I was doing on a shoestring budget with very little money, I was willing to sacrifice the majority of my life. I don't like to think of it as really sacrifice, but devote the majority of my life to building this place that in case anything happened, it's why I call it Shangri-La. I kind of paralleled it to Mr. Hilton's book of Lost Horizon, James Hilton's book of Lost Horizon. And I was going to call the place Shambhala, which is the original tongue language. Translated into English, it's Shangri-La. And there, I was going to collect all of the brightest minds in the world and bring them there so that this particular city would never experience what you call, what I called in 3 videos before, think tank gridlock, you know, like a traffic jam. Only it's a mental traffic jam. And so this think tank gridlock could not really happen there. And so all the great things, good things, art, music, and the other things that were important, technology, could be saved for future events. And so this project I was working on, I had to get there first, acquire the property, and then, you know, work hard to get the building and do all the stuff that I was going to do. It didn't work out because of what my past videos have explained to you. Because these people impeded my life, interfered in my life, took my cars, boats, trucks, everything away from me. If you independently ask any questions to the tow companies, the police departments, all the people that violated my civil rights and destroyed my life, they would tell you, well, all he had was junk. All he had was stuff. I'm going, well, there's no law against that. It shouldn't be. And if you think that I had an eyesore, wait till the comet's done with you. The whole planet's going to look like an eyesore. As a matter of fact, Nostradamus' predictions are probably going to come true. He says, in the sky, the king of terror will come in the year 1999. But when Nostradamus used the word 1999, everyone was thinking of looking for it in 1999. Straight across literal translation, prediction. No, it isn't. It's in code. He used 3 9s and a 1. Now you got to play around with the mathematics a bit, but once you finish playing the mathematics a bit, you'll get and end up with the year 2010 or 2011 or 2012 or 13. You'll end up with a 4-year spread. Each number represents one of the years. Okay? 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. 4-year spread. And there are 9 different things. The first year, you could start preparing for it, and there's only one focus you need to focus on. The 3 9s in the year 1999 Nostradamus means that you now have 9 months in each of those years to store and dig tunnels and dig protective things that you're going to need in order to survive this terrible calamity. So you can play with the numbers and force in what I say template. Put a template over superimpose or put a template over every one of the predictions and make it mean whatever you want to. But it's ironic and weird that it would mean these things specifically. It's up to you to play with those figures again, and because that's what the prediction says. In the year of 1999, from the sky will come the King of Terror. And the King of Terror, being 15 times brighter than the moon, that you'll be able to see it in the bright daylight, means that it'll probably be brighter than the moon. So it'll literally cast a bright light on the moon and make the moon possibly look even brighter. So how close will it pass to Earth? Or will it hit the Earth? Like I said, you'd have to have a Sequoia computer or some of the computers, and somebody independent would have to come forward and say, yes, it's going to hit the Earth, but then they'll silence them real quick. They'll censor them real quick. The powers that be, remember, they have the cops, the judges, the lawyers, they have the Patriot Act. They can put you in jail if people start to believe you. So that means that you've got a hard road to toe. Okay? And it's not going to be easy fighting these people because they want to get their way. They're like the snotty little brat who's have a temper tantrum, and they want their way no matter what. And that's not what it's about. Now, there are a lot of situational ironies that are going to be thrown at us in the next 10 months. Do I believe it? Do I not? Do I move out of the central city areas and move out into the middle of nowhere? Do I dig myself a bomb-out shelter? Do I find one that's already made? You're going to find a lot of people doing this, okay? You're going to find a lot of people thinking, well, what will it do to the planet if it does hit, or even if a chunk of it hits, especially the water? It would create a huge tsunami. Who knows how big, and who cares? The point is that we're looking at earth changes that are very huge. Of course, you can hear a lot of Bible thumping and hell and damnation all over the world, in every religious tongue you can find. But it doesn't matter. You could say, I could pull out one thing I read out of Revelation that you could twist into an interpretation, which was that would take Satan, and Satan will be thrown into the bottomless pit. Well, you could say that what people have been doing, technically speaking, has been evil. Paying taxes, killing innocent men, women, and children in other countries just to get resources. That's something the devil would do. And then say, oh, I have no choice. I have to pay taxes or they'll throw me in jail. This is a piss-poor excuse. But let's just stick with that for a second. So how would you interpret that? Satan being thrown into a bottomless pit. Well, in Nostradamus' prediction, that in the year of 1999, from the sky will come the King of Terror, this terrible comet. Not in 1999, but in 2013 and 14. 2 different numbers. Here's another one. The bottomless pit is the financial bottom of the United States of America giving way when enough people believe that this thing is going to hit. Now, you'll have a lot of people, even the news media, saying, oh, we talked to JPL, they're all hired by the government, their paychecks are paid by the government and by your tax dollars too. You think they're going to tell you the truth? They've been probably offered a free ticket to that underground hidden special place somewhere. You get a free ticket to this underground place if you stick with us and tell everybody what we want you to tell them, which is, it's never going to hit. It's all lies. These are just people who are what they call instigators, and their ideas are based on hysteria and so on and so on, or they're nutcases. And repent. The end of the world is soon. You'll hear all that too. But you should be able to keep your head and think about what alternatives you can take other than killing yourself and killing other people. Because those things are, I don't know if this video came out or not good. I pressed the right click and then I may have to do this video again. Anyway, I'll find out when I replay it. So you have to decide now who you're going to believe. And if I were you, I'd start making plans. Alternative plans within plans, alternative plans. If you have a family, I'd start making plans and alternative plans for you to take precautions, because they may not tell you the truth. And if they do, they're going to have a whole government on the street, tanks and everything, just to try and keep crowd control down, because the bottom will fall out on the country and you won't have any way of recovering. So I guess that's about all for 3 parts, 3 videos that I've taped. I can only hope that you people will understand that I was the one that was in fact in the prediction mode, that I was in fact the person who was right all along. And if you don't want to believe me, it's your funeral. It's all of our funerals. And it's sad that I had to go through all that pain and agony when, like I said, if I'd been left alone, I would have built this place in Colorado. Colorado also has geothermal activity, so I would have been able to have built a geothermal power station there, and on a shoestring budget. Since I know how to do that so well, I'm an expert in that, since that's what all I had to work with all my whole life. And we would have had independent energy forever, just, you know, no matter what happened. And it's sad that nobody came forward to try and help me, because you're all in this together, whether you like it or not. These messages to the world and the planet are very serious. You should have listened. You should have paid attention. You should have. And now it's too late. Now you don't have very much to look forward to, because the possibilities are that there's just not going to be an Earth. It's a situational irony. It's a coin toss, heads or tails, as to whether it's going to hit or not, and whether there's really going to be life as we know it, or as we are accustomed to living it now, in the here and now, as opposed to what we're going to have to deal with after it hits. You think about that real good. And while you're at it, if there are astronomers out there, I suggest you get on the horn and start triangulating and figuring out whether this thing is going to hit the Earth, so a whole body of people, independent from each other, can come forward and say yes or no, validate what the government either is or isn't going to tell the public. So don't believe the experts, because if they're such experts, they should have seen that tiny meteor coming when it came into Russia. They should have seen a lot of things coming before they hit. There was the one that hit in Norway. So, you know, the choice is yours. Believe me or believe them. And send your checks or money to me so that I can at least maybe go to a different country where I can pick out some natural mountains and caves that I can convert very quickly within a 10-month period over to a survival place for. I don't want to, like I said, I can't talk about it, but you people have a choice now. Which situational irony are you going to believe? Theirs? The truth? Are they telling the truth or not? That's all for today. Let's see what happens.